Today I'm going to make a template and use it with a plunge router to make a board game. Now the actual game that I'm making is an Aggravation board game, but really this method could be used for any particular board game that uses marbles. This past spring I salvaged a bunch of red oak from a footrest that went around a kitchen island bar, and it's just been sitting in my lumber rack ever since, so this is a great project to get use out of it, and it's pretty stable as is, so I'm just going to clean it up and glue it into a 20-inch square. While the glue dries on that, I want to talk with you about the sponsor of this video. Lynda.com is a leading online learning software company that allows you to learn technology, software, creative, and business skills. It's basically a massive online learning warehouse packed full of thousands of video courses taught by experts who are passionate about teaching. For a free 10-day unlimited access trial, go to lynda.com/JB and start streaming thousands of video courses on demand and learn at your own pace. Now, if you want to learn how to make some pretty cool visual effects in your videos, well, you can do that right here. I'm personally recommending this because I've personally used it and I know that you will benefit from it. So go to lynda.com/JB to start your free 10-day trial. That's lynda.com/JB. Those are my initials, pretty easy to remember. Make sure you use that URL so they know that I sent you. Thanks to Lynda for sponsoring this message, and now let's get back to the project. I'm making the template out of 1/2-inch plywood. So if you watched my SketchUp video prior to this on two-dimensional drafting, then you'll know pretty much the dimensions for this particular board game. But I scaled it down quite a bit. My original intention was to make a large 28-inch square. I don't have enough material to make a large 28-inch square with this oak, so I scaled it down to a 20-inch square. All the proportions are pretty much the same. I just need to mark out all of my drill locations and then start drilling those out with a Forstner bit. Good news and bad news. Good news is the template's done, and that really didn't take as long as I thought it would take. It only took about 5 minutes drilling all these holes. So it's very fast to do it this way. The back side, I didn't even worry about all the chip out. It's just, it got pretty tore up. I don't care. I pulled off all the little slivers, and as long as this sits flat on top of the workpiece, it's all that matters, because all we're worrying about is the spacing of these holes. Bad news is I drilled the wrong size holes. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I thought that the guide bushing that I need to use for my plunge router would fit perfect into a 7/8 of an inch hole. I just assumed that. I had that stuck in my head. I don't know why, but really that's 1/16 of an inch bigger than the guide bushing. So the bushing will wobble around inside my template holes. That kind of sucks, but I think it's not a lost cause. I still think that I can use this template by pushing the router in the same direction for every one of these holes, and then it'll just reference up against that location in each one of these holes, and hopefully that'll be accurate enough. We'll see though. If not, then I'll just cut another template with the right size holes. But before I can use the router, I need to clean up my material and then cut it to an approximate 20-inch by 20-inch square. To attach the template to the workpiece, I'm just going to use 4 pieces of double-sided tape. The router bit that I'm using is specifically designed for making little dishes or little divots for marbles. But if you don't have a plunge router, they also make a drill bit guide, an actual bit that goes into your drill so that you can use a drill to plunge all of these holes. I've never used it, so I can't speak of that, but I've watched some other people use those particular bits, and they work out really well as far as I know. The only thing I have to make sure of here, like I said, because my template holes are a little bit bigger than the bushing that I have, is to just make sure I push the router to one side of the hole, or the same side of every single hole as I plunge. I've got my dog set up on the right side of the workpiece here, so I can just push it to the right. I think that'll be a little bit more accurate because both of my hands will be in the same plane rather than pushing forward and maybe skewing one way or the other. That turned out a heck of a lot better than I had anticipated because of the template being messed up a little bit. But this actually looks really, really good. I'm really satisfied with the way that this turned out. Just need to sand it and then cut a small profile along each edge to make this a little bit easier to pick up. The 30-degree bevel that I just cut on all four sides serves two purposes. Number one, it looks pretty cool, but it's very functional because no matter where you grab it, that bevel creates finger room so that every edge on this thing is a handle. Very easy to pick up no matter where you grab it. So this was reclaimed materials. I didn't pay anything for the materials. The bit was very inexpensive. So this, just for a couple hours of time, is a really cool gift for somebody else. And if you don't have a plunge router, like I said, they make those bits for actual drills, and you just make a different size template for it. So hopefully you guys found this pretty cool, and I think I'm actually going to make a couple more of these really quick because this was a very fast gift. So I'm going to knock out a couple more of these. Thanks for watching, you guys, and take care.